This one's for all you foodies out there and wine lovers. We're talking with a business that brings history, creative dishes, and unique drinks to life inside a really unique space in downtown Great Falls. Hear all about Fifth and Wine coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And we're No Damn Experts. Today is a very, very special day. One I've waited for a long time.
Dreamed about.
Yeah. My favorite place to eat on planet Earth.
Mine too.
I'm not a big wine drinker, but mimosa drinker I am. And today, Shannon, you've created a unique opportunity for our listeners. What have you done?
And I was excited because they brought props with them. Yes,
we
which
love
we always
those kind of props.
Yes, we have Mark and Tara here from Fifth and Wine. Welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
So, digging right into this, Fifth and Wine is, I'll say, Fifth and Wine, in my opinion, is the nicest place to go have a great meal and a great drink in our fair city. How would you guys describe it? Would that be
Would you say that?
Would you say that?
Absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, we love Fifth and Wine and very proud of it and excited that we're in this great city.
And it's been kind of an evolution to what it is today.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah. I entered Fifth and Wine early on, and I'll just say why. My husband got the gout, and because he got the gout, he couldn't drink beer anymore. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to become a wine drinker. I'm like, oh, I know where we can go for that.
Yeah.
So I walk in to the early interpretation of Fifth and Wine, and I look at Mark, and I'm like, so my husband likes Boone's Farm and and the Wild Vines wine. That's not my style, so we're going to have to find something that works for both of us so we can stay married. And Mark's like, I got options for you. And 3 bottles come off the shelf. We went home. They were all perfect.
Probably Moscato and Riesling, I would imagine, to start with at least.
It was amazing.
And he's even doing it now.
I know. And so the 3 that we had, brought them home. Robert's like, yeah, these are good. And I could become a wine drinker. I'm like, yeah. See? It's awesome.
You turned him.
So tell us the sordid history of where you started and where you are today.
Well, I retired kind of.
This is what retirement looks like.
I sold my business, which was a print shop in Great Falls at the time, and I was kind of looking for something to do. And my brother wanted me to come help him in the print shop again, and I said, "Well, I'd really like to sell wine." So we had a big old warehouse, like 10,000 square foot warehouse, and I just built a little room off to the side, put a side door in, and called it Wines by Wednesday back then. And my theory was that I would just buy the wine. I mean, people would order on Wednesday, then I would buy it from the distributor on Thursday, and then they'd pick it up on Friday, so I'd have no inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work out at all.
I was going to say.
That seems like a good plan.
I walked in, there was a lot of inventory.
Yeah, it's so anyway, we later bought a building, the one we're in now, and then Tara and I kind of have been working together ever since, and she actually is majority owner and running it more than I am these days. So
So there's a store. You can still walk in and buy wine off the shelf, as well as, I might be speaking out of turn, cheese and meats and all things good food off the shelves.
Right.
And then you sneak through the alley, not the alley, the hallway.
The alley of the building, yes.
Also known as a hallway. You open into this beautiful, redone, open, spacious dining area now. So there was food in the original before the big space opened, but not as to the extent it is today. So is that more your vision or Mark's vision?
No, one day we just had the retail store and people would come in, and I think it was all of Top Nod, and somebody had asked, well, what do you do with this? And my dad said, like, he always has his good ideas in the shower. That's I'm sorry to share
the place
that.
to think.
Hey,
I think
all
it's a lot
good
of people's
people.
thinking place.
Yeah. So one day he walked in and he's like, we need to show people what we do with this. And so that's how the food started. We wanted to incorporate the retail food that we had. So our meats and our cheeses were in our sandwiches. Our Top Nods were, something we served with crackers or whatever. And so we started lunch one day randomly, and we had
one George Foreman grill.
one George Foreman.
Panini grill.
That's all you need.
That's a good ad for George Foreman right there.
And people would come back in the kitchen and look and say, really? Because we just gave them a really good lunch, and we're like cooking
This
on
is
a
how you
George
did
Foreman.
it? Yeah.
One sandwich at a time.
Then my dad went to the Salvation Army and found two George Foreman
Foreman's.
ones.
Nice.
So that, tripled
Increased
our
capacity. Look at that.
tripled our capacity. Right?
Yeah, because I remember early on just the opportunity to go have a glass of wine. You almost like get to sample it before you buy it, which was just not a good plan long term for my pocketbook. But then the meats and cheeses came out, and who doesn't want to just have a good nowadays charcuterie board? But it was just a nice meat and cheese tray that you got to eat, and then if you loved it and you thought you were capable, you could buy it, replicate the whole experience at home. Which I think is people's greatest downfall.
One of the things I always ask customers if they ever heard the word charcuterie before about 5 years ago. So it seems like all of a sudden charcuterie is just part of the lexicon, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, goes mainstream.
So going back to how it all started, you worked in a print shop and you were like, I'm going to do wine. Where did you love wine before then, or you just were like, wine, let's do that? How did you shift from printing to wine?
Well, I started drinking wine when you guys were probably not born yet. I remember getting stuck on Charles Krug Merlot for about 3 years. That's all I drank. And I just got tired of it. Back then, there was a big Osco jug with a huge well of wine. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at that wall and thinking, I don't know anything about any of these wines. And so I started buying books and reading. And so, I just really got interested in, I love history, and that wine is kind of history. So that was where my love of wine came from.
Came out of boredom of your current wine that you were drinking.
Exactly. And my brother and I didn't want to work together anymore. So I had to find something to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
Hey, it's good to recognize those things before you have like one of those biblical events and we're like, brother kills other brother.
Yeah.
So good job on recognizing that early.
There.
We did a radio commercial fairly early on, and it said something like, that big wall of wine where you don't know anything about it. We know quite a bit about all of those. We can even sell you bad wine with a good label or good wine with a bad label. So, because many people label shop, and there's a lot of beautiful wines out there that have an ugly label.
Yeah.
That we can tell you about.
Yeah. So then we started making George Foreman grilled sandwiches, which were delicious, and still are. You can still get panini sandwiches at Fifth and Wine. But the menu really has evolved. The food experience there just keeps going levels up above where you start at. And for us here in Great Falls, it was like, oh, this is fancy food. And then they started showing us more fancy food. And they're like, well, this is even fancier food.
This is foodie food. Yeah.
How do we keep going? So where's the evolution there?
Yeah, the evolution was originally it was Dad and my brother cooking the sandwiches. And so that was kind of a fun part of our career. And then we just got to grow organically over time. And eventually it was like, okay, now we can afford somebody to help us. So then we hired like a younger high school kid or somewhere just out of high school. And he started cooking for us. And then eventually we were like, okay, we can afford a chef. And so we hired Sarah, and she did an amazing job for us. And she started off as breakfast, and then we just kind of evolved from there. And I think I got married in the space in 18, and then we opened the other side. And that's when we really got serious about the food. I think. Yeah. And we've kind of tried a lot of different things. We did tapas for a minute. Nobody knew what that was when we did it.
We did a pre-fee menu, which is just, fixed menu every time. And that didn't go over well either.
It's been a lot of trial and error with what works here.
Here's the thing, folks. I mean, we're great here in Great Falls, but sometimes change is not our strong suit. And so when we get some new ideas, those are harder to adopt quickly, and especially when it takes so long for some people to adopt those things. Just a little ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Do you still, maybe this is industry secret, do you still have a George Foreman grill in the kitchen?
No.
Okay.
We bought ourselves a real nice panini grill now.
Okay.
High end.
Yeah, exactly.
So what can people expect on your menu? Because it is not a burger place. It's not a pizza place. It's a foodie place.
Which
and
we have a plethora of those options. Yeah.
It's not a place where you're going to have the expected things, in my opinion.
Right. You're going to have more farm fresh food, some organic stuff, local beef, meats that are in our deli case, things like that. Just a little bit, you called it fancy, but it's just really good food.
It's elevated
flavorful.
I think it's elevated comfort food is what we kind of call it.
Okay.
And everything we do, we make from scratch. All of our sauces, all of our soups. We don't buy anything from Cisco and throw it in a fryer. So.
Pasta.
Sorry, Cisco. But
Yeah.
No.
Hey.
Makes a big difference and sets you apart. We were there together fairly recently. I had, and I'm spacing on the name of it now, but it was a salad.
The Brussels sprout, lemon, pumpkin.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Was it pistachio apple maybe?
Yes, pistachio. It was delicious.
I'm not sure we're going to ever be able to get rid of that salad because it's very,
gotten
very
really popular. Yeah, it's delicious, and it's something totally different than when you look at other menus. And you're like, oh, I want a salad, and it was just so good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we try to change our menu kind of with the seasons. So every 3 months or so, we don't want to get stuck having to do the same things. Like we get asked all the time what happened to our bread pudding, and then we say that was like 3 chefs ago. I don't know what happened. I don't know where he's at.
Yeah,
exactly.
What's that balance of like having favorites that people love, but also mixing it up? That's been fun to go in and be able to try something little different every time. But you also have that your grilled cheese and tomato soup that's just delicious, and that's a staple on
there.
That
is a staple. That's been since the beginning. Not your mama's grilled cheese.
Yeah.
That was my dad started that one.
I got a fun story about that. My dad who's 93, so he's probably 85 or something when we kind of started all this, and I invited him down for lunch, and he heard we had a $12.95 grilled cheese and tomato soup. He's like, "No way!" I'm like, "Dad, you don't have to pay for it. I'll buy it." Like, I can't even do it eating it
got
for
the
free.
Hook up here. Yeah.
But the reason it's $12.95 is there's 3 imported cheeses. One from actually not 2 imported, one from Italy, one from Switzerland, and one from Wisconsin that we blend in. So it's worth it. We're not putting Velveeta in the middle of white bread, So.
Yeah. Right. This is
and it's
elevated comfort food. Yeah.
It is good bread.
It is.
And you guys are making that.
We don't make that. Blue Truck Bread does that.
I was wondering.
They have excellent bread.
Yes, they do.
Even though they're not in Great Falls.
Right.
They
just right up the road. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we call Power ours.
Okay. Cool.
We consider that local.
Yeah.
And they sell it at the farmers market too.
Yeah. And at 2J's.
Yeah, right.
You can get it there.
I think Electric City Coffee has it sometimes too for sale.
So too, yeah.
Huh. Well, look at all this place.
Look at all the options. Yeah.
Don't make your own sourdough.
Right?
Buy Blue Truck bread.
The tomato soup also, I think, is not like your standard. That's elevated as well.
It's award winning.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. It's really,
really good.
It's tomato basil, and at the end we put a little 25-year aged balsamic on top as the dressing on top.
Yeah.
It's always nice. A little sweetness to it.
There's also the presentation of it is beautiful too. I think that's part of it. Like, what's the thought process behind that?
I mean, your eyes eat before you actually eat, so it has to look good before you dig in.
Yeah.
Well, you want it to be Instagram worthy.
Oh yeah,
and all of the food is.
Thank you.
There's not. We were there May, and one of the gentlemen that I was with ordered a steak, something with pesto on it, and the pesto sauce was so killer. He shared it with everyone. He's like, "This is the best pesto I've ever had in my life." And so, it's always interesting when you go out with consultants and they're like, "Here, eat my food too." And it's like, I guess we're to that level, so that's great. But I tasted, I'm like, oh, I would have never ordered something with pesto on it, and that was amazing. So I'm like, my friends came into town. I'm like, we're gonna go to Fifth and Wine, and I pull up the menu, and it had changed because
I knew that you were going to say that.
the season had changed. I'm like, one day I'm gonna have enough clout in this building to go, I want the pesto in some way to eat.
Make it happen. It was 3 chefs ago, but they'll make it happen.
Well, but you have to, since I knew it was a seasonality thing, it's not like you can just go, make me the pesto. It's
Right.
They may not have it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You had talked about, you said you got married right before you opened the expanded part of that. Okay, so your wedding kind of seasoned the new space.
It did, yeah.
Tell us more about, because I love the design and the look and the feel in this space. For people listening, kind of describe
what's going on?
the feel
What's
of
going
that
on in
space.
there?
So the building was, it's only had 3 owners.
Really?
Gins, right?
Yep, Tony Ginn.
Tony Ginn, the Van Tegums, and then Fifth and Wine.
Yeah.
Huh.
And so it used to be a sheet metal shop. Was it the first place that they made?
It was the first place in Great Falls that sold forced air furnaces. So that's why they had that showroom where our current retail is. This is his showroom for. And he lived in the back. Tony did, Ginn, and Van Tegum worked for him.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Huh.
And then he
Tony Ginn passed
passed
away.
away.
And didn't have any heirs, so Van Tegum took it over, and they ran it till about early 80s. Then it just shut down and was a boarded up old building downtown.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you look on Google Earth, it still looks the same as it did
No, it's
before we
finally
bought it.
changed. It finally changed.
Oh, did it finally change?
That's helpful for your business.
Yes.
that it's looked
We
changed.
had like the Google Streets car come by here this summer, and they were coming by as I was leaving, and I saw them coming up the hill, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna smile. Like, is it gonna capture me at the stoplight? But if they do,
You're ready for it?
yeah, I'm smiling, grinning ear to ear, and then it's gonna be really weird because they're like, why is that woman just sitting in her car at a stop sign smiling, so happy?
Have you looked?
No,
Are you in it?
looked. I haven't looked. I should. Some maniacal.
Right.
And then we'll paste it up.
So what drew you to that building? Was it just simply it was available, or
My dad and my uncle found it and asked me to. I actually was a real estate agent at the time, and helped him buy the building.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful building, and it was just obviously neglected. They made a ton of changes, redid all the inner workings, and
it had no plumbing, it had no insulation, it had no electricity, the windows were all boarded up. So
you're starting
the
from
roof,
scratch,
the
basically.
roof was leaking.
Yeah.
So,
my gosh.
When I first bought it, my friend said, I didn't realize you were that rich. Like, you could afford to do that.
You're like,
I didn't either.
I didn't either, right?
Didn't know what I was getting myself into.
But we took it really slowly. I mean, obviously we had to do the major stuff, but then after that we tried to grow real slowly.
yeah, that's why we
Pay as
were
we
only
go.
on the other side at first, and just take our time. That's kind of one of our philosophies, is to take our time and make sure we're here for the community. Owning a restaurant is one of the hardest businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Yeah, you
we've
watch
done a
people
really
in
good
this.
job.
Watch people in this industry. They spend money like crazy, and then they, have 1 million people come, and then they fail early, and then you see that in the restaurant industry over and over. Where we tried to just grow slowly
As we could.
So it's worked out so far. We're not going out of business.
Seems like a
anytime
smart
soon.
approach. Yeah.
We've been 13 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And you survived COVID and all of
We
that. Yeah.
Yeah, our 10 year was in COVID.
Oh my
sadly,
goodness.
so
Yeah.
we didn't get to celebrate.
You can do a 13-year celebration. It's fine. Yeah.
Lucky
Why not?
13.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So you've heard Tara say my dad, and then you've also been introduced to Mark on the podcast. So let's just dispel the big rumors
Clarify.
here. When she's talking about her dad, she is talking about Mark.
Yeah.
It's a family owned and run operations. Your brother's still involved, or did you kick him to the curb?
No. Jake
Getting into
is
family drama.
he is not any longer involved, but
Yeah.
he loves the business. He
comes in
supports
every day
us.
still,
he comes
right?
in all the time.
Yeah,
So.
he took his George Foreman and he went home. It's like,
Exactly.
done with this place.
Yeah.
You know, get a fancy grill. I'm gonna go home and make my own sandwiches.
Exactly.
That's right. So inside the building now, kind of describe the feel, because we've talked about how it's this revitalized warehouse essentially. It's now got kind of an industrial, urban, but artistic feel to it. So
Right.
yeah, tell us more about the inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's concrete floors and wood on the walls that hasn't been touched since whatever 1980
Still stained, right?
something,
Yeah.
still stained with sap, and we just left it really original. And we added some really cool lights, right?
Yeah, Einstein lights, I call them in the paper.
Yeah.
She called me after the paper came out. And she said, "Mark, Dad, they're Edison lights, not Einstein lights." I'm like, oh yeah.
I knew exactly what you're talking about though when you said it.
I was quoted in the paper with Einstein lights.
You can always just blame the reporter.
There you go.
Hey now, I will say.
I knew she'd have something to say about that. Now, the space has like a loft or a mezzanine. Was that originally there, or did you guys add that?
That was originally there. In
Oh.
fact, there was a second floor over all of it. And
Oh,
so it wasn't open at all. It went halfway through the windows.
Okay.
And so I think it was storage, if I recall right. And they decided to tear all that out except for where you can see our loft. We call it the mezzanine. And that's kind of where we have all of our private parties and
Yeah, it's really
some wine
pretty.
tastings and stuff like that.
Fun story about that.
yeah.
The guy that Bantica owned it was a member of the Shriners, and they used to have the Shriners Parade in Great Falls. And the elephants would come in that door, and because it had a trap door up
What?
above, and they'd wash the elephants off. There's pictures of that.
Inside your building?
Inside the building.
On
yeah.
the second floor?
They'd walk in the first floor, and then they'd spray them
up
down
above?
from up above.
Oh my
Oh.
In a
gosh.
trap door, right. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, not everyone can say elephants have been washed in their building.
Many people can say it. Very few. It has
It's
actually
true,
happened.
especially around here.
Health
Yeah.
department probably wouldn't love that.
It's okay. It's not like it happened yesterday.
Right.
So, so let's talk about some of the events. You mentioned that space, the mezzanine is used for those. Talk about some of the events that you guys host.
Yeah, we do quite a bit of wine tasting. We have different kinds of events, meet and greets, where you can meet a wine rep or even somebody who makes the wine possibly and just come try their wines. And then we do some things we call passport dinners where we do like an Italian theme. And
Yeah,
so
I need to do this sometime. That sounds really,
they're
really
very
good.
fun. And our team just does an excellent job at pairing it with the wine and stuff. So,
And it's multi-courses. Like you start,
yeah,
I think you have to drink 5 different glasses of wine through your journey.
correct.
And
You-
so you
you
start
have
with
to.
Yeah, we make you drink them.
Yeah.
Damn it, drink this wine.
You do
I
not
mean,
get to leave
it's
until
such a burden. Like each course is paired with a new wine, and you get salads and desserts and meats and everything. So it's really an impressive traveling experience
Right.
that, we hope you travel for.
Right.
So
Well, and I think people maybe on outside looking in would not expect Great Falls to have that type of cuisine or that type of wine journey, if you will, available for people. So that's really neat to have. Has there been any like countries that maybe people wouldn't expect, or is it kind of your standard, your like kind of go-to classics?
I mean, luckily for us, like wine mostly comes from
Yeah.
regions that people know,
Right.
Spain and Italy and France.
Yeah.
Trying to think if
We've done Australia.
we
yeah,
did.
and we did
Nice.
Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a lot of times we get people from all over the world coming to Great Falls to taste wine with us. Like we've had winemakers or wine reps from New Zealand, Australia,
Oh, wow.
Spain, France, Italy, Argentina, Chile. So yeah, we get people from all over the world traveling
Yeah.
in. So it's really fun. It's a different experience than you would expect, like you said, in Great Falls. So.
Yeah, that's really neat. Okay, so you have your wine tasting events,
passport dinners.
passport dinners.
Yep, we do private events as well. So you can have your Christmas party there, your baby shower, anything you can really think of that you want to throw a party for. And we have just an excellent decorated space that is beautiful. You don't have to do much to it. So
No, it is very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the building itself, gone through many transformations, but the exterior as well has gone through, I think, probably the most impressive change, and something I'm still waiting to go out to experience, because every time I've been there to do the outside, it has rained.
Oh,
You know, and I'm pretty much made of sugar, so I will melt if I go out there. So I'm like, gosh,
yeah.
I guess maybe it's good. The old
I've been out
farmer
there.
in me is like, well, at least they keep showing up and bringing the rain. So talk about the patio area.
Well, okay, I don't know. We just did a farm to table event out there. So speaking of events, and that was so fun. Tara's really good at decorating, and so she made it feel like a farm. And it was a beautiful evening, and we had the lighting perfect, and we had the music perfect, and so it was, food was amazing. So that's one event out there. But anyway, it's a beautiful patio. It's got probably about 40 seats out there, I'd say. And we made a bar area out of some old cottonwoods that got cut down on the
Fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
That's the top of the bar. So yeah, it's got a lot of character to it. And then we did an old sign. We put all three of the logos of all three people who owned the building up. So it's kind of
That's neat too. A
Yeah.
tribute to the,
Right.
the
Hand
history of
painted
that.
like it would have been back in the day. and-
That's really
yeah.
cool.
Dennis
Yeah.
Signs did it, and he's an older guy, but man, he's talented. He can make it look like it's perfectly typewritten and it's by hand. So
That's
it's fun.
amazing.
It's fun
It's
to
an
watch him
interesting
work
skill.
too.
Yeah. How did you come to acquire the cottonwoods from the
Yeah.
fairgrounds?
The Goodwood guys, I think, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, they
Gotcha.
had some laying around that had been drying or
Huh.
something, and our contractor knew about it, and he guided us towards
secured
that.
it.
That's kind of a cool thing.
It
I
is.
mean, it's like made out of wood from
And
the other
then
side of town.
The
Yeah.
other cool thing, my dad, Mark,
Hey, you can call
We've
him Dad
established
now.
that.
That way,
Okay.
Yeah.
everybody knows now.
he laid on his back on a scaffolding for like 3 days. Oh, okay, 3 days. And he took down this tin ceiling that really wasn't complete.
One nail
Or
at a
something.
time. Well, we were going to
Oh
put.
my gosh.
That's where we put our cooler, and I didn't want to waste the tin, so I made sure. Anyway,
Took it all down.
Very
Yeah.
diligent. My goodness.
And
they,
so
they put nails in like this long that had little jags, and you had to take them each one out individually. So
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'd never do that again. It was a dumb 3 days.
But
Hey,
you did it.
But it's done.
And now they're on the outside of the bar. Too,
Okay.
outside. So
Yes.
Well,
that
see,
tin.
it helps the whole story.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
worth it.
And the outside is like a little oasis because it's still got a fence around it, so you're contained into that environment. I call it no environmental pollution can get in.
well, we
Yeah.
consider it one of the best patios in Great Falls.
Yeah. And there's a little fire pit out there.
Couple
right?
fire
And
pits, yeah.
Yeah. My friend and I enjoyed a long seating out there with food and mimosas last year. Yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful.
It was absolutely filled to the limit during Mimosa Showdown. There had to be
yeah.
150 people out there.
No,
Nice.
no, only 60.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's like,
I
no,
forgot.
we were at
Yes,
capacity.
we were at capacity
We
there.
didn't go over code.
I just meant overtime.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So speaking of mimosas, I don't want to, alienate anybody else too, but I think my favorite is at your establishment.
Oh, this last year's mimosa, or just
Just
for
in
showdown,
general.
or
No,
okay,
just in general in
just
life.
general.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just every
So
day
it's
of my life
yes,
when
just
I
every
need a
day when I need a
mimosa.
mimosa. That being said, there are wonderful mimosas across town. There's just one in particular that's a little more unique, in my opinion, that you have. I believe it has some like coconut milk
Oh,
in
yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's the hippie juice.
hippie juice.
Yeah.
That's the name of it.
And
yeah.
we like food are also seasonal with our mimosas, and so the
And you
hippie juice.
have, it's not like a big laundry list of mimosas. It's just a finely curated handful selection of amazing mimosas that you can get there
Yeah, and
seasonally.
we have our classics, orange grapefruit always, and then we do about 3 or 4, depending.
So what's the current season? I mean, we're
In Christmas
so
season, so we've got some beautiful mimosas right now. We've got Holiday Sparkle, which is based in pomegranate and a sugared rim and edible sparkles. And
That's always
then
fun.
we have the Grinch. Well, Grinchmas or Grinchy.
Okay.
It's up for debate what we should call it. Grinchmas is probably the way to go, but it's got pineapple juice and it's the color
Oh.
green.
Is it what's sitting behind you?
It
by
is.
chance? Okay, I
Yes.
saw that. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
an
so we'll
interesting
get pictures
color.
of these.
Yes, we will.
For
Mhm.
you folks,
Yeah.
or you can go to Fifth and Wine's Facebook page or Instagram page and see it for yourself
Yeah.
as well.
And then we've got the ornamenti, which is our interactive mimosa. And it has an ornament on the rim and cranberry juice in the ornament. And then you dump it in there as needed or when you want.
That's a
little more
fun
juice.
idea.
So you
I
get
thought
to
that was just
determine.
decor. I like it.
So you get to determine on the ornament one how much
Ratio.
juice you want to dilute your champagne with. Nice. Serve yourself. I
Yeah.
like this.
That's fun. Who's coming up with the ideas
Yeah.
for these?
Just sit around and
Back
drink.
in the day, it was I've probably done like 400 mimosas,
Yeah.
I swear. And then I was just tired of it, so I was like, okay, somebody else needs to come up with these. So my team, I have a gal named Gabby and Whitney who did a lot of the work on most of the mimosas in the last 2 sets. So
Nice.
they've done a nice job.
Yeah.
The one that I had that was your Mimosa Showdown contender had edible flowers in it.
Mm-hmm.
Who on planet Earth's like, these flowers are edible, but these ones are not?
I don't know how it's determined either. Yeah.
It just says edible flowers on the outside of the package.
And you got to
Yeah.
trust. You got to trust them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Figure out how to use these now.
That was a failed mimosa, which you have a few of. I originally wanted it to change colors when the people would add
Ooh.
the sparkling wine and it would change colors because I used butterfly PT, which changes from blue to purple with citrus.
Oh,
But
fancy.
It just automatically changed and
Oh.
You're like, dang it. That's
yeah,
not what I
It
wanted.
was
it did not
still
work
gorgeous.
out, but it was
Yeah.
pretty.
It sounds pretty. Are you working on ideas for the next year's showdown? I mean, we're a ways out still, but
I know we
Yeah.
need to get working because we got to bring it. I want to win.
yeah.
Someone has got to start thinking of how to unseat Keller guys,
Yeah.
I
the
know.
3-time champion.
They're
Yeah.
very good at marketing theirs too.
They,
Yes.
they truly
Yeah.
are. They truly
And
are.
we sold 1,100 mimosas that
Holy
day.
So you
Wow.
can't
we
really
kinda
be a
won.
loser.
It's
Right,
not-
we
Yeah.
kind of won.
It really is a win for everybody. I mean,
Yes.
you obviously want the bragging rights of that, but it's a win
Mhm.
for everybody involved
That was a
because
great event,
there's
yeah.
so many people downtown drinking your mimosas. Yeah.
But you got to be thinking every day you wake up and you're like, all right, new mimosa, come to me. because
After
your
that
menu's
many.
going to change here quickly again.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. I forgot.
Well, when it comes to seasonality,
Yeah.
it's already
it
old.
happens.
Now we got to figure out
Right.
what's coming up next. But
Mhm.
I think that's what's fun and exciting and what is always new. So when there are some establishments you go to and the menu is the same and you get real comfortable and consistent. But at Fifth and Wine, that's not the case. And
Yeah.
every time you come, they're going to have new food for you,
Mm-hmm.
new experience.
We also do that with our wine menu by the
Mhm.
glass. We always are trying to do something that maybe people, they just say, I'll have a cab. And we always say, well, we don't have a cab right now. Maybe we have a cab blend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from
Force
Argentina
them.
or something. Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of get them outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which I guess is, I don't know if that's a great business plan or not, but it's,
Well,
it's
I'm
fun
going
for
to
us.
say, from
It's
a
good.
girl who wouldn't order pesto, it's a
Mhm.
great idea.
And
Like-
your husband who only tried it because he got gout and now he likes
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's dug out.
Yeah, right.
got the gout.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So I think that's important because when
Mhm.
people get in ruts or they get a comfort level, they don't tend to break out or they want to try and
Mhm.
make it easy. This is an experience, folks.
Mhm.
You're not going here to just get your staples. Have an experience.
Yeah. And I like when I go to a restaurant, I can say, okay, what's good? What do you recommend? Like, what should I have? What should I try
Mhm.
to get out and try something different? Yeah. Is there a food dish? Let's start with the food and then we can talk about the wine. Is there a food one that you've made that you were like, people just latched on and loved it and you're like, I don't get like why I want to rotate this out. Like, I don't, are you like ever surprised by how people react to the different
I think
dishes?
one stands out in my mind was we'd had like a half roasted chicken.
Mhm.
People could not get off that. And it was it really, really was good.
Yeah.
But
So
and
then
we
they'd
had a hard
show
time
up
getting
and they're
rid of
like,
it.
where's my chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah. We did have a hard time getting rid of it. We were contemplated whether or not we do. But when you have something that you're thinking you're going to stick to,
Yeah.
a seasonal menu, then we just decided to go with what we do.
Or like the pistachio and apple salad.
Yes,
that
I know.
Like,
I'm
I got to go in
I'm a
there
little
again and
worried
get
that's
that.
going to
Yeah.
have to go away soon,
Yeah.
probably.
Do you end up with a secret menu like your cult followers? Can they come in and do the So I know a long time ago you used to have this.
You want the
Can
pesto,
you still
don't
make
you?
it? No, I will not pull that card.
Mm.
But pesto is a year-round product anyway. But do you have people who kind of try and? Do you have a secret menu? Is there any of that going on, or not?
No.
Our chef will work with people, like if they have allergies or if
Sure.
they're vegan or vegetarian. We always try to have one of those dishes on anyway. But so we'll work with people that way. But we don't have any secret menu.
No. Yeah. Can I talk about the chef really quick?
Yeah,
Because
please.
You can
I
do
haven't
whatever you
talked about
want,
him
really.
yet. and
Yeah, please.
He is like one of the foundations of our business. And his name's Steven, and he's been with us 3 years. That's
Oh, wow.
probably the longest we've ever had a
Not
chef.
probably, right?
No, it
Yeah.
isn't probably. And he just does an excellent job. And you talked about the visual look of the food.
Yeah.
I mean, he really focuses on that. He focuses on the flavor. We try the food together. He's just amazing. You have
And it's his menu.
Yep.
People always ask if I influence or Terry influences, and we try to keep our nose out of his kitchen, including the employees and everything. He completely runs all of the back of house,
Wow.
and he does an awesome job. And it was trying to find
The right fit.
the right people in the back, and
Yeah.
they still kind of wander in and out. Sometimes they quit him for a while and they go to somewhere else around town, and it's not. Well, they come back and say, we're not really cooking at that place. So I want to get back to where we really cook and make our own sauces and do all that.
Yeah.
So he's very inspirational to his staff too, I think, which is great.
Where'd you find him?
Well,
Under a rock.
yeah. There's only a few good things that came from COVID for us. And, one of them was him. We hired a chef named, we don't need to name him. And he didn't work out, but he did do us a favor and hired one guy who also hired another guy. And that is our current chef.
How you got to where you are.
Wow.
Nice.
And he's not culinarily trained, which
Yeah.
I think is awesome, because
Yeah.
I think people that go to culinary school are good, but they need time in a kitchen. And this guy grew up in a kitchen. He's been doing this for 25 years or something. So he's very, very proud. And his brother works for us too. And he's the line cook. And
Wow.
Steve kind of does the plating and, expediting, make sure everything looks good before it gets to the customer. So they're a good team.
Speaks to kind of all of you. I mean, self-taught, self-educated in the wine business. I mean, switch from real estate to running. I mean, all of it's kind of this homegrown, like self-education experience to put this out there. And I think maybe a lot of people might be surprised to hear that because of the quality of what you guys do.
And just it all stems from passion. The passion for not drinking the same wine every day and not having the same food every day. Like, there's a passion there that really exudes when you are in that space for whatever it is, whether you're just picking something up or retail shopping or dining. The team itself, anybody who serves you is just got a passion for what is going on in that space.
We always talk about that with our people that work with us, the front of house, the servers. And it's important to us that we deliver the right meal to the right person, not say, go to the table and say, who ordered this, right? So we just try to be professional. We teach them how to open a bottle of wine properly or sparkling wine properly. So there's quite a bit of training and just pride in their work, and I think once they get our passion, it kind of is easy to get their passion.
And that makes such a difference in the experience too.
Now, where do you find, like, are you guys going to some expo or some type of industry conference to learn the trends? Because I would have never guessed bread and butter as an appetizer would just be the hottest trend on planet Earth, but it is amazing. And it's not just obviously just a regular slice of bread with a little bit of butter. It's a butter breadboard, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you come up with this stuff? I would have never come up with anything like that.
The chef is a real foodie. I mean,
Okay.
he spends a lot of time reading and watching, and he's the one that's really digging into those kind of things and comes up with a menu for us. So.
Yeah.
Keeps an eye on that. So, Mark, I come into your business. I say, I want to try wine. What's kind of the process you go through to help kind of narrow down someone if they're feeling adventurous and they just say, I need your help. What should I drink? Kind of how what's the process of you
What are they?
guiding
Usually it's
people?
what's the first question would be, what do you normally drink? Are you brand new into wine, or do you want to experiment? Do you like mostly whites or mostly red? Do you like sweet? Like Chardonnay, kind of all those questions. And then of course money always comes into it, because we have bottles for $10 and we have bottles for $2,000.
Yeah.
So obviously we don't have very many people to come in for $2,000 bottles, but
Every day.
If I win the lottery, I'll come in and do that.
I mean, so that's the process. And we've got a lady named Wendy working for us right now who's really doing a great job in the retail. She is very knowledgeable, very friendly, and she's been doing a lot of that.
She's got her first level somm.
Sommelier.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's neat.
But anyway, that's the question.
Okay.
And then if they're buying a present or something, like my favorite red, to say, if people say I want to buy red, but as a present I don't know what they drink, I always sell them Côte de Rhône, which is a blend from the Rhône Valley of France. And it's just got nice fruit to it. It's not real dry. It's not real sweet. It's just, kind of an easy everyday drinking wine. So that my Côte de Rhônes are my go-to if I don't know what else to sell them.
You just said a term that I, as a beer drinking gal, did not understand. That Wendy got her first.
Her sommelier, first level sommelier. So it's basically a wine expert.
Okay.
And
That's why.
she studied for quite a while, and
I have that too.
We both have that as well. But that just shows that she really cares and wanted to step it up and be a part of this team. And one of the hardest things is, as we've evolved, when I first started taking over wine, they would be like, is Mark here? Can you help me pick out wine? And then now for Wendy, is Tara here? Or Mark, depending. But
well, you can ask for Wendy now.
Now you can ask for Wendy.
She's just as good.
She just moved here from Napa Valley, though. So she's
that's
likely to recommend a Napa first. So. I'm trying to get her off that
prepared.
Napa-centric.
I suppose when you live in that area, it's easy to think of that first.
Well, we taste about probably 25 wines a week, I would say. So we have 5 distributors that call on us, and they bring us wines to taste.
Does your palate ever go, this is tiring. I can't tell the difference anymore. Yeah, it's all good. Or do you just have to take a, bite of the sorbet and keep going?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a taste, It's not like we're sitting around drinking wine all day, although sometimes we do. But yeah, no, it's fun. I think that's the best place to learn. Like Wendy said, she worked in wineries in Napa, and you're just tasting the same wine every day, Where we get all over the world, and people are bringing us wines from Argentina or weird places like Georgia. Or
Miles City.
Armenia. We actually have had that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Anyway, that's kind of
everyone's
know
shocked.
about that one. Nope, I lost it again.
So
you ask something.
You bet. When people come here, you're a family-run small business, which does mean you probably want to take time to not be in the business. You want to be with your respective families, not just mom and dad or dad and daughter together all the time. You want to maybe spend time with your spouse and your kids and those type of things. So what are the hours of operation for Fifth and Wine, and if Fifth and Wine dining is different than retail?
Right. Yeah. Dining is different from retail. Our retail store is open basically Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 6.
Okay.
And then the dining is pretty much every day except for Monday now.
Okay.
And we have lunch 11 to 3 and dinner 5 to 8, 9.
Because this change of just being closed Monday is relatively new because of the brunch scene that is emerging in Great Falls. You guys are doing brunch now. Yeah,
we were encouraged to do brunch. We wanted, they had an effort downtown to get more people open for brunch, and we decided to jump on that train. And
so that's Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday brunch now from 9 to, let's do 10 to 2 because it might be changing here soon.
Gotcha. I love the
2.
brunch there too. I've never had a bad meal there. I've always loved it, but the brunch that's a very good spot to go for brunch too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's one thing that people ask about. We had the truck stop burrito.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Where we made a big old burrito and we put just cheese. We actually made our own cheese sauce. We didn't buy it out of a can.
Yeah.
And then we crushed up chili Cheetos. right? Or chili
Not
Doritos.
chili, the spice, the hot
Anyway,
Cheetos.
hot Cheetos over the top of it. So we
Ooh.
call it the truck stop burrito.
Yeah.
We sold a lot of those. So we'll
Yes.
probably get that back one of these days.
Yeah,
'Cause
we
I
do.
kind of came up with that one, so the chef didn't leave there.
So you're like, we got to get that back. That was mine.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun to have. It's just talking about the brunch scene in Great Falls. I mean, it's been really fun to see that evolve and have options, because it seems like, we kind of went from not very many options for breakfast outside of your, traditional diners that have been around forever.
Well, breakfast with a mimosa.
Mhm.
I mean, isn't that kind of the staple of what we're talking
Yeah.
about is
Mhm.
the brunch experience? Because without a mimosa, it's just breakfast.
This is true. Yeah.
I think the whole food scene in Great Falls is really changing and evolving
Mhm.
and becoming much better. I think we were a culinary wasteland for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's lots of new, Ribbon Chop House just came in. And,
Mhm.
even Chipotle and Cordova and whatever,
Yeah.
even the chains, I don't know. It's just fun to see new and different things in Great Falls.
Mhm.
I think it's cool.
So what's next on Fifth and Wine's evolution and growth?
Yeah, we've grown into every space, so we're not growing physically at all. We'll probably get into a little bit more catering type
Okay.
stuff, outside catering. We don't do very much of that. Would love to get into that.
Are you going to reveal January?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So evolution doesn't always include, Mark started with Wines by Wednesday, which is morphed into Fifth and Wine in this world. Now we're going to conquer another segment of your mouth.
You walked in with 2 glasses, one with a mimosa.
So tell
and
us
one
what's
coffee.
on the next horizon.
In January, for the month at first, we're going to do an all-Italian restaurant for the whole month
Oh.
of January.
Oh.
So I feel like people are wanting that in the Great Falls.
That's
It is
true.
what we've heard of
And
a lot.
It is, yeah.
And lots of people go on dumb I don't drink things in January. And
Yeah.
they don't go out to eat because they're worried. So we thought
Yeah.
maybe this would get them off their.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
We're trying to get them drunk again in January.
Right.
It's not
Past
a dry
dry January.
January. You still need to drink water.
But I think it'll be fun. And the chef and his brother both have worked in Italian restaurants back in New York. So I think they'll do a great job
That's
too.
fun.
It'd be kind of fun for something different. The cooks and the chef like to do something different too. They don't want to cook the same thing all the time. So
Yeah.
So does
That'd
that
be
does that include brunch too? Is all going Italian, or
I
is
know,
this just
That was the one area that the chef Steve and I have been kind of, what are we going to do there?
Yeah.
But I think we're going to figure it out.
Oh, I'm positive you will.
Yeah, we're going to go Italian on the wine menu.
Mm.
I'm not sure what the mimosas will look like yet.
Yeah.
So the Italian version of Fifth and Wine.
Yes.
just for 1 month.
Just for 1 month.
Just in January. But beyond just January, any other fun, exciting things that we can look forward to that may be a little bit more long-term staples?
Not that I can think of right now, but
Okay.
yeah, sorry to disappoint.
It's not a disappointment.
I'm really excited for this Italian January. I think
Yes,
that'll be fun
it'll
to
be fun.
hone in on that. Yeah.
I want to mention, I said we've grown into every crevice of the building. My father lived above the wine store
Oh.
at one point, and if you guys haven't been there, I'll give you a tour sometime.
Ooh,
But
yes.
it's now a VRBO.
I've
that's
seen
fun.
Rent
I've
out.
seen the pictures.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful.
It was a really cool bachelor pad, and then I got married.
Yeah.
They ruin everything,
Yeah.
don't they, Mark?
Yeah. I was going to ask, because you mentioned the original space.
Yeah.
So Van Tighem, right, lived
Van
behind there.
Well, he
That
lived
was
in
actually
our
Tony
kitchen.
Ginn.
so,
Tony Ginn
okay,
lived there.
lived
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Upstairs was pretty bad.
Oh man, there's dead pigeons on the floor when we
Oh,
got up
my.
there. And, right. It was
Yeah.
not good.
And live ones, yeah. It was bad.
A lot has transformed.
Yes.
Yes.
But no, it's beautiful.
I love the feature. I believe it's like a driftwood or wood horse sculpture that's
Oh,
from
yes.
there.
People
Ah,
often comment
no.
on that.
I want it. Where did it come from?
I know it's like perfect for the space. I hope
It
we never
is.
lose
It's
it.
beautiful.
Tara built it.
Yeah.
But Brian Morger did the piece,
Oh, yep.
and it's all Missouri River driftwood. And he just did an excellent job. It's framed perfectly in that space. It's amazing.
That's neat. Brian did that. I didn't realize he did outside of painting.
It's his
Yeah.
first one, yeah.
Okay. That's neat.
and I'll just say it, Brian, I don't know if there's another place that it would make sense for that horse to be. So
Right. No, it fits perfect in there.
So if you need advocates, like Brian shows up, he's like, I want my horse back. You're like, no,
I know I go there.
Doesn't
I
really
haven't seen
go
him for
anywhere
a while.
else.
I wondered if he forgot about it, but
Let's hope so. Maybe he won't listen to this. And he won't,
Well, yeah, we get customers take pictures of it all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. It's really cool.
And it's for sale. I don't know how much it is because
But you can find out.
you can find out.
Ask.
I
Yeah.
always wanted to put red laser lights in it for Halloween.
Oh my
but
gosh.
Scare the crap out of us
Yeah, no
at night.
Well, I'm glad there's a supervisor somewhere that's telling you that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Is that Tara? Is that you?
Tara, yeah.
But keep him in line.
So you said that you get people from all over the world that come and try your wine. Tell us a little bit about some of the customers. I mean, it's not just Great Falls people, it sounds like you see.
No, we've that's why we're kind of here today.
Yeah.
We've identified that we get a lot of tourists,
Mm-hmm.
and we wanted to reach out to them, let them know we're here, and love to serve them. So
Well, a lot of the ranches at Belt Creek, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but all
Yeah.
those guys come from, Georgia or Arkansas or California.
Yeah.
And so they're really good customers of ours. And then other dude ranches around them. What's the one out by Cascade there? Anyway, we get a lot of that, of people flying in, going to their houses or their ranches or whatever, and pop in for dinner and lunch quite often. And then people traveling through.
Yeah.
We had a lady from Seattle said we had the best clams she'd ever had.
Really?
I'm like, you're from Seattle?
You're right.
Right.
You live by the water.
I think what we have is a really good sauce. Probably.
Not to discredit, but maybe she's not trying the right places in Seattle.
Exactly.
I only say that because clams are not necessarily fresh here in
Right.
Great
Exactly.
Falls.
Right.
So it takes a little bit of a challenge, but the food is amazing.
I mean, we've
here.
also heard that our crab cakes are the best too. So I don't know.
They
you
are
go.
good.
Have a
They are
niche
good.
with seafood. Yeah.
Yeah. But we hear all the time when people walk into our space, this doesn't feel like Great Falls. Like it is a different experience, and
It's not really sophisticated. It's like you said. It's kind of warehousey and kind of comforting again, just like the food. It's not going to make you feel uncomfortable to walk in there with jeans and a t-shirt.
I was just going to ask, do you
You
need
can-
a suit coat?
It's
No.
the whole
They're one by the
spectrum.
door.
Right.
Yeah, it's the whole spectrum there. You can.
Because there
dress
are
up
some
if you want.
people who have that expectation that if you're going to go and have a nice meal, you have to be in your black tie and,
Yeah.
evening gowns. And that's just not the case here in Great Falls at all,
Right.
anywhere. And especially at Fifth and Wine, you just,
but also if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
you're
more
not going to
than
be
welcome.
out of place if you do that
No.
either.
Yeah.
We're definitely one of the celebration spots in Great Falls, date night, birthdays, anniversaries,
Yeah.
all those things. So we definitely see that.
Yeah.
And it's very special to have them come in for those things.
And
Yeah.
we get calls from all over the country to buy gift cards too, for their family here in Great
Yes.
Falls. Like she just mailed out like $800 worth of gift cards to
Nice.
to a family here in town. So it's-
Nice.
They're already in the mail. Don't try and accost their postal.
Yeah. Right. No kidding. It's already gone.
Yeah, I said those priority.
Yeah.
Good call.
But it's a beautiful experience. Quality food, locally sourced sometimes.
as much as
As much as
possible.
I mean, in Montana, it's hard. In the,
Yeah. Not the
Yeah.
clams, but
The sauce is made right here. But I do appreciate that because we have such amazing foothold in agriculture that you do have the opportunity to have some really amazing local food, handcrafted for your belly.
what is your kind of hope moving forward as far as like how you will be known, your reputation in the community and the people who visit? Like, what do you hope
What's
it
your
is
legacy?
that people think about when they think of you?
oh boy.
I mean, she asks all the hard questions.
She does.
I mean, it's that dang journalism
I know.
background.
I think that what I want to be known for is that we're just a family business that is honest and caring and does a good job, like quality wise, and builds good teams and those kinds of things. Works well with our vendors. Those were some early things my dad taught me.
We've always talked about the triad of, people always say customer's always right, which is true. But you can't have good customer service without good employees that want to treat the customer well, and you can't do good food unless you find good vendors. So,
Yeah.
you kind of got to treat the vendors just like you would your customer and treat your employees like you would your customer. So we've always tried to keep those things equal in our business. So I think the legacy is what she said, kind of a team building we've done. I think that's maybe our best asset that we try to work on really all the time anyway.
Well, I think it's been just a blast getting to learn a little bit more. I mean, as residents, have seen it evolve, and just kind of getting the opportunity to dig in and share that story and connect people emotionally with you guys as owners and as the people who are just out there trying to make good food happen. I think is absolutely amazing.
The name, so you're Fifth and Wine now, you're on Fifth. Did Wines by Wednesday, how long did you have that name before it evolved into Fifth and Wine?
We joke about this all the time because winesbywednesday.com was the original name, and it was a little silly. And people didn't know what it meant.
People asked her if she was Wednesday.
If I was Wednesday.
Oh.
And they'd also ask, are you only open on Wednesdays? Right. And so then
we go to Fifth and Wine, and now I was dropping my dog off at Fetch, and these two construction guys were talking, and they said, hey, do you want to go to lunch at Ribbon Chop today? And he said, yeah, sure. And so then I came back and I said, we've done it again. Like, there's no way two construction guys are going to, hey, do you want to go to Fifth and Wine for lunch today? So we kind of pigeonholed ourselves again with just Fifth and Wine, because we're much more than just wine. We have great food. And, we have some down-to-earth, everyday eating kind of stuff, too. But
we're like 95% woman.
At lunchtime.
Woman influenced, at least. Yeah.
At lunch,
that makes sense to me.
They're the spender and decision makers.
Yeah. They're the primary decision maker. And I go there as much as I can. There's a chicken sandwich that's on the menu, the lunch menu right now. And
the brie, I
got to get that ordered so I can go eat it. What I was going to say is the lunch menu is different than the dinner menu. Yeah. And I think we neglected to share that, so that when you go in for lunch, it is a completely different menu than when you go in for dinner. So don't expect you're going to be able to eat your lunch thing at dinner and your dinner thing at lunch, because they're two different meal parts, people.
Right. We do have a new website we just launched too, so you can see all that on there.
Oh, perfect.
And you can actually order online, and I think we're going to start doing delivery too. So
wow. Well, that's dangerous for my wallet. Good to know.
Well, I did the order because you had recommended that salad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm, again, not one that moves out of my comfort zone, because I like the other salad with the cheese crumbles and
salad
bacon.
On Fifth?
Yes. The staple there. So I'm like, does Shannon really know what she's talking about? I'll try it. And it was so good. And I'm like, oh, dang it. And it was so easy to order online.
I had to admit, Shannon was right.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah. But whenever you can, that, for residents here, it's easy, but definitely go in and have the experience of dining in when you're in town.
Or if you're going to head out and do some adventuring, grab your lunch to go and go out on, have a picnic at Ryan Island, because that's a good experience too.
With a pistachio salad that might not exist by the time Ryan Island opens again, but I still like that idea. Yeah. You two are also embarking on a new adventure in this community.
It's actually me and my other daughter.
Okay,
Whitney.
not Tara. All right. Well, never mind. Okay, well, tell us about that.
Yeah, we bought another old building.
Okay.
People,
because you just love renovating it so much.
Apparently, I'm rich again.
Yeah.
It's a really cool building. It was built in 1929. It's right across the street from Great Falls High School. It used to be known as the high school house. Then, probably the generation you guys, maybe it was a Campfire Girls building. Oh. But it's a really cool old brick building. We again did everything: plumbing, electrical.
Oh my goodness.
But we're
There's
making
a lot of buildings that need that, Mark.
Yes.
So keep going.
Yeah. We're making it into a cafe and coffee shop, and it's literally right across the street, maybe 20, 30, 40 steps from the entrance to Great Falls High. So,
nice.
So we're probably going to have a lot of high
You'll
school
have some
kids,
caffeinated high schoolers for the afternoon.
And we can do things like pizza by the slice and,
nice.
grilled cheese again, and kind of, so it won't be your typical coffee shop food. It'll be more based towards the kids. And
just during the day, or are you going to do evening stuff for the neighborhood?
No, we're just do day. Be probably about 6 to 4. We're not open yet. It'll be about 2 weeks before we get open. So
okay.
So another place to get coffee.
Yes. What's it called?
Buffalo Blanc.
Buffalo Blanc.
Right.
Okay.
So can you spill any dirty secrets on the type of coffees? You're a connoisseur of wine.
Yeah.
How elaborate are we going to go with the coffee beans? Are they the kind that come out of a bird's butt?
Well, we hired, since again, I don't know anything about coffee.
I don't think it comes out of a bird's butt.
No, there is one. It's,
There is one.
From Jamaica or somewhere, right?
Yeah. It's
Anyway.
supposed to be the best coffee in the world.
Yeah.
Bird poop?
I'm not.
They eat the bean and then they collect it when it comes back out.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, I don't know how we got there.
Yeah, I told you.
I hired a
Rebecca
lady that has
suggested.
been working in coffee shops for about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to be doing all those decision making. I'm coming up with some of the names like Prairie Fire
Nice.
and what's the other one I came up with?
Mine is Buffalo Blanc and Blue.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
And then I came up with Buffalo Chip.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I don't like that one.
Well, I'm
It
gonna
does
goes
be
along with the bird
perfect
food.
for that
reminds
one.
of the bird poop thing.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna, and I'm gonna put chocolate chips in the
There you go.
in the
Whipped cream.
whipped cream on top.
There you go.
Anyway, it'll be really fun.
Yeah.
But don't inundate us. We want to start slow. So don't tell anybody about this
Okay.
till January.
So don't go
Okay.
for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
You're going to
be-
want to have a better experience. We'll tell you when you can go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll let you know.
We'll make an announcement.
Mhm.
We'll test it out first.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there you
We'll
go.
do taste tests.
I mean, there's not an issue with me going to find. Oh, this will be the big question. Do you offer decaf coffee?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
There you go.
Mhm.
There you go.
I'll take the
I don't
fully
know much
leaded.
about coffee, which is
Yeah.
clearly why I'm getting into business.
I mean, it
Why
makes
not?
sense.
Yeah.
What better way to learn, Mark?
Right. This is what you do. Yeah.
Exactly.
You took care of all the old building things.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's going to shamelessly plug, I need to plug Vintage Cellars too.
Oh, that's
You know,
right. I forgot.
My mom runs that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's truly a family
Oh my
endeavor.
goodness,
You know? My
yes.
sister, my mom, and us too.
And
Yeah.
Vintage Cellars is in the 2J's Marketplace complex, and that is your one-stop shop for all things quality beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. We have 14 beer cooler doors and yeah, an awesome selection of beer.
Mm-hmm.
And your team there is very knowledgeable as well.
Yeah.
They made a little bit of fun of me. I have to tattle on myself. We have the episode where we talked with the Mighty Mo team and their 10-year anniversary. And so I went in there, probably a year ago to get Mighty Mo beer. And I walk in, I'm like, did I miss where the Mighty Mo beer cans are? And then it's like, yeah, they quit making beer in a can. You
Yeah.
can get it in a bottle. I'm like, huh. I should probably get out more. Like,
Yeah.
had no clue that change had happened because I just hadn't bought canned beer for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it fresh from the tap. And so here's some Mighty Mo stuff. It's in a bottle. I'm like, that'll work just fine. Thank you so much. I don't live here. Like, I'm from out of town. But beautiful selection and really knowledgeable staff over there as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And during Beer Week,
Craft beer week.
there we go. There's a huge parking lot party at Vintage Cellars.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. So there's a lot of
That's
fun
in
happening.
June usually, right?
June.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June.
Mm-hmm.
So you can spend a whole week here drinking and eating
That's
your
right.
way through our
Well, you do a
town
mimosa showdown, then you come back, or you just stay and do craft beer week.
Right.
for a month. Yeah.
Why not?
Thank you both for being here
Mm.
and reminding us of all the things you have your hands in. That's nice. Beer, wine, coffee,
Yeah. All the good stuff.
and food.
Mm-hmm. Beer, wine, coffee, food. Love it.
So when you're in Great Falls, great place to eat. Fifth and Wine. Couldn't have more fun in a family with a family unless you were Clark Griswold. That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
whole different kind of fun. Yeah.
So until we see your bright, smiling, happy, beautiful face here in Great Falls, we hope you're creating amazing memory with your friends and family wherever you might be. See you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town.